Life is hard to avoid difficult times. When that happens, we have to try what to do. Listening to Buddha's teachings changes the way you think and see. Maybe it can change everything. A man's life. Please invite Buddhists and listeners to listen first. Love all beings. Buddha taught that hatred cannot be too much. Hatred is solved by love. This is the eternal truth. Our hearts hold hatred. If we give up, we will be the first to feel tired, even if we are insulted. Humiliation and harm. Try to keep your mind free from hatred and think more positively. You will see your life change. Secondly, what we do is what makes who we are, not what we say. A good dog is not what it barks. Good a man is not what he says, or don't pay too much attention to things. The flashy exterior is not what we talk fluently and promise all kinds of things. Will gain the trust of others. The third secret to good health is staying in the present and listening to Buddha's teachings helps change your life. We will learn in our lifetime that the secret to both mental and physical health is not should be about blaming the past or worrying about what might happen in the future. The secret is to live in the present moment wisely and seriously. The fourth is to know how to look within oneself, then that person is pure consciousness. Be you. Do you know that the way is not in the sky but in the heart of each person? Other people can't make us change, only ourselves can. Realizing the truth can change your life. Thursday words. Said to have immense power that can cause injury and also heal. Never underestimate the power of words because they can destroy lives. A person's life by his words, but at the same time can also make. To comfort the person and heal the wounds, use true words. Be kind to everyone because we can change the world. Friday giving is forever. Buddha taught that you only lose when you. The more you hold on, the more you think about something and can't let go. It is easier to lose, but when our heart is pure, we give gently. Those things will stay with us forever. Saturday no one can help us beyond oneself. This is something that has been proven many times in reality. Prove who can and who cannot follow and support us all our life. We have to do it ourselves. Walk on the path you have chosen with your own feet. 8th joy. Happiness never runs out when we know we will share Buddha's truth that we are human. Living in this world, we must know how to love and share with everyone, then happiness will come. Doubled and pain halved like a flame. The candle can light thousands of other candles, and its life will continue. And never give up. Listen to Buddha's teachings and let love be happy. Spread throughout this world. 9th, be gentle with all. Buddha taught that we should teach these 3 truths to sentient beings with the heart. Warm words of kindness. A life of service and compassion will change humanity. Be patient, be tolerant of the young, be kind to the elderly, and encourage those who are. Who is trying to be tolerant of the wrongdoers and the weak. There will come a time in your life when you will be in situations like these. 10th, don't believe anything you are taught to believe. Buddha said, believe anything easily because you have heard it. Don't believe easily anything because it has been passed on by word of mouth. Don't believe it easily and anything because it is written in the dogma books. Don't believe anything easily because they are the words of my predecessors and teachers. Don't easily believe in tradition because it has been passed down through so many generations. But after what I observed and analyzed when I saw them fit the reason. If there is a reason that brings good things and benefits to living beings, then accept it and live. Because it is 11, what you think you are. What we think will create man because what we think is in the mind and it will. If you think and act on evil thoughts, you will be followed by suffering. When we think and act according to the 4 noble truths, happiness will follow. 12, let it fly away. Buddha said that. Never fear what we will become in the future because we don't need to depend on anyone. When we give up everything we will be free, be happy. 13, see the needle in the bag will come out one day. There are 3 things in this world that cannot be hidden: the sun, the moon, and death. Don't try to hide the truth, be honest about everything. Listen to Buddha. Teaching helps change life. Destiny is here. 14, master your thoughts, otherwise it will master you. Try to listen to Buddha's teachings, you will know to have strength. Good health can bring happiness and peace to everyone. First of all, we must have determination, must master one's thoughts. When mastering thoughts, we can find the path of enlightenment. Wisdom and virtue will naturally manifest. Reveal. 15, unity is life, division is death. Perhaps none of us has never heard the lesson of solidarity. Remember that there is nothing more terrible than the habit of doubting because doubt will. Divisiveness is the poison that destroys our relationships. 16, no one deserves your love more than myself. Buddha said to search the universe for those who deserve your love. Love and affection of the child more than the person himself can find. Wherever I am myself, and all beings in this world deserve it. With that love and affection. 17. Understanding people is wise understanding. To conquer oneself is to be enlightened. If one can conquer oneself, that is victory. Your victory no one can take it away, not even angels or devils. In heaven or hell, winning over yourself can change your life. My life. 18. Spiritual life is not something. What is a luxury but a necessity? Buddha taught that man is not a luxury but a necessity. Life without spiritual life is like a candle without a light. No fire. So 19. Turn jealousy into admiration. When you see someone who is better than you, don't be jealous of them, try. Accept it with admiration and then try to change yourself in the right direction. Positive direction. 20. Find the source of inner peace. Buddhists teach that peace comes from within our souls. When our souls are at peace, we are at peace and we will see everything in peace. There are 5 golden words that will help you find peace in life. Life. 21. Give away what you save. Don't. Being obsessed with saving and hoarding everything we earn, valuing material things will turn into our life becomes meaningless. Let's enjoy it. 22. Choose your friends carefully. Don't forget the Buddha's teachings that a deceitful and bad friend. A personality is more terrifying than a beast because a beast can only hurt. A bad friend hurts our body, but a bad friend will hurt our mind. 23. No way to happiness. Happiness is the path. Don't be lost in searching for the path to happiness yourself. The path we take will bring us happiness. 24. Let go of vanity. Pretending to be greedy and vain will make our lives difficult. The clothes do not make the monk, nor do the friars. Making us happier is people's misconception about ultimate happiness. The 3 most blessed professions are those that have the greatest blessings, have a profound and lasting impact on society and the people who do it. These ivories contribute to the development and progress of the community, leaving their mark. And the first significant legacy is the farming profession. Agriculture is one of the most prestigious professions, contribute indispensably to development and survival of human beings. Farmers play an important role in providing food that protects the environment and maintains ecological balance. Agricultural technology contributes to meeting basic human needs. Food farmers are people who grow crops and raise animals and produce important food sources for their communities. They are those who create diversity and abundance in food, ensure that everyone have adequate nutrition and safe food, in addition to providing occupational food. Agriculture also plays an important role in protecting the environment and maintaining ecological balance. Farmers can adopt sustainable farming methods that protect land and resources. Water resources, reduce chemical use and protect the biodiversity they contribute. On environmental conservation and restoration, ensuring that the country and its resources, nature is enjoyed and used for future generations by agricultural technology. Also contributes to the economic and social development of an agricultural country. It creates employment for a large part of the population, especially in rural areas. Provide income and improve quality of life for farmers and their families. Moreover, agriculture is also a source of raw materials for industries. Other industries such as food processing, wood industry and many others. Different from agriculture, the profession is not only worthy of respect for the dedication of its professionals but also because of its great influence and impact on development. The global development of agriculture makes an important contribution to food security, national and global food security, while helping to reduce dependency on food imports and increased self-sufficiency. In addition, agriculture also creates a connection with the land and its origins. In every country's culture, farmers are the preservers and developers of traditional customs and traditional agricultural knowledge of the locality, thanks to that farming is not just a job but also an important part of each country's cultural landscapes and heritage. However, agriculture industry also faces many challenges and difficulties due to climate change. Population growth and agricultural industrialization both affect land use efficiency, productivity and sustainability of agriculture, which is why investment in research, technology research and farmer training are extremely important in the promotion of new methods, sustainable farming methods to protect the environment and to use the network to connect farmers. People and markets also need to be prioritized. Agriculture is a profession. Important and proud people who to this day not only provide food products for the world but also contribute to economic development, environmental protection and Social sustainability: respect and appreciate farmers because they are the Red Cross scholars in the field, preserve and develop the foundation for life. Our second profession is doctor. Why do doctors belong to the medical profession? Everyone knows the duties of a doctor is to save people and heal wounds. People call them angels in white. In ancient times, a doctor was also called a teacher. In ancient times, a doctor was also called a medical profession. Studying is one of the most important and rewarding professions in human society. The medical profession is committed to the health care and treatment of people and makes an important contribution. Focused on maintaining and improving the quality of human life. Medicine is a diverse and complex field that includes many specialties such as internal medicine and surgery, pediatrics, gynecology, neurovascular therapy and more. More doctors and medical professionals in these fields are trained, specialized in diagnosing, treating and caring for patients. Art medicine requires knowledge. With extensive knowledge and rich skills, doctors must study throughout their lives to keep up with the development of medicine and new treatment methods. They had to use the advanced technology equips medical knowledge and research skills to serving people in the best way. The art of medicine brings not only life-saving and healing disease but also the care and advice for patients. Doctors often play a role as a guide who listens and accompanies patients during the treatment process. They not only take care of the physical aspect but also ensure the psychological and spiritual well-being of the patient. Patients are in agreement that medicine requires a high level of ethical commitment and responsibility. Doctors must adhere to medical ethics principles that ensure fairness, respect and to protect the rights of patients. They have to work under pressure and stress, be straightforward and always willing to face urgent and difficult situations. A noble mission with the ultimate goal of restoring and protecting human health. Medical practitioners not only help treat diseases but also contribute to disease prevention, prevent disease and improve public health. Doctors perform tasks such as medical examination, diagnosis, laboratory tests, prescriptions, and procedures. Medical procedures such as surgery and treatment. In addition to art, medicine also includes other fields. Medical research and medical technology development. Medical researchers and technologists. Medical science plays an important role in understanding diseases. Medical data analysis to develop new treatments and improve medical technology to bring more advanced and effective solutions to patients. Again, the great challenges and responsibilities that physicians face in the diversity of illnesses and emergencies. They need to be able to differentiate and diagnose accurate diagnosis and effective treatment methods. Physicians must also work within the medical team, communicating and collaborating with other specialists, other professionals such as nurses, medical staff and consultants to ensure care comprehensive for patients. Medicine is not only a rewarding profession but also brings satisfaction and love for the healthcare mission, feeling of discovery. Successful diagnosis and treatment of a patient cannot be measured by anything but gratitude and appreciation from those who doctors and nurses have help and heal. The doctor is kind and rich. Because of compassion, doctors are also the most respected and virtuous profession. If the doctor treats the disease with his heart, then he is donating through. A person who gives fragrance to life is like a doctor who does it with all his heart. The third day of infinite blessings is the teacher. Besides doctors and farmers, teachers are also one of the professions. Who is the most respected person in the world? The ancients respected the teacher, and today we have I. Teachers are like bed makers. Teachers are like engineers of people's souls. The ivy and silk are the low candles that light up the knowledge of the teacher. Transmitter of morals, ethics, knowledge, values. It is a code of conduct for people in dealing with others and is also a symbol of ethics. Moreover, when imparting knowledge, teachers must also use humanity. One's own moral character is taught by precepts and conduct, so that one can have. The saying respecting teachers is more important than respecting students. From ancient times until now, people's respect for teachers has increased. With teachers, it is said that there are many good sayings about the teaching profession. The saying "one day as a teacher, a lifetime as a father" shows how noble the teaching profession is. Being a teacher, in addition to providing knowledge to students, also orients them. His students followed the right path of Tian Nia and also brought great Yin Duke. As a student, you don't have to know how to drink water and be polite to your teachers. Only those who have taught us will have much virtue, while ungrateful people will pass by. Those who despise teachers will not be blessed with the truth of life. In the Buddhist teachings on progress, Buddha taught us that progress is a never-ending process in life. That is what we do. Constantly learn, develop and grow both mentally and physically. Wisdom progress is not simply the growth of knowledge and skills but also includes raising awareness and consciousness about oneself and the world around. Around us we need to discover and understand our own nature, our will and desire, deep aspirations from which to determine the direction and goals in life. Buddha taught us about spiritual practice and training to eliminate bad habits, negative habits and improve the quality of our thoughts and actions. We need to train our minds to focus and listen within to see weaknesses and shortcomings. Ours to improve and become better. Progress also includes development. To develop compassion and kindness we need to inculcate in our hearts the awareness about the connection and correlation between people and everything in our universe. We are not only concerned with personal interests but also with love and support. Helping the community and humanity. Progress is something we do not only facilitates individual development but also contributes to the development of common development and happiness of all people. To progress we need to expand knowledge and openness to different opinions and perspectives. We must know how to listen and appreciate the value of every angle. We need to explore new areas to overcome and challenge ourselves. To develop comprehensively and creatively. Progress is not a struggle racing with others but a race with ourselves. We are not need to compare and compete with others but need to focus on overcoming your own limits and become better every day. Racing with others only creates stress and pressure unnecessary. We should not judge the value of self based on comparison with others. Need to set goals and progress accordingly. Our own abilities and potentials. Progress is something we engage with. Continually improve and develop those aspects of ourselves that we feel need to improve. We need to learn from successful people and those who experienced but never lost in comparison and competition. Racing with others only creates endless competition and greed. Instead of competing and rivalry we should focus on development and enhance your ability to achieve success and happiness in your own way. Our own progress is what we do not stop exploring and discovering your inner potential. We don't need to must not be judged by the achievements and success of others but must be self-confident and patiently pursue your own passion and goals. Look within yourself and towards forward and achieve progress. Progress is a race with yourself to become a better version and live a meaningful and successful life the right way. The way we humans live in this world is often to compare ourselves with others. The mistakes of the world, looking for worms and hairs, looking for traces, trying to point out to ridicule something that is not good or bad is not the true way of life. It is ideal to develop the Buddha's teaching of progress, that is, instead of wasting time to criticize others, then take a look at yourself. The attitude of criticizing and blaming others is the most bizarre attitude. True Buddhist. If we are truly practitioners, we should only looking back at your mistakes to fix them is the core of progress, not in being better than others but in perfecting oneself in the Dharma of salvation. Buddha should not look at other people's mistakes, or not should look back at yourself to see if you do it or not. Following the Buddha's teachings on progress is not what a true Buddhist should do. Look at other people's mistakes because when you see other people's mistakes, your own mistakes are gone. Born of jealousy and envy once they have discovered the shortcomings of for others, right at the moment of the mind's arising of a thought, afflictions have already arisen. True Buddhists live knowing how to let go, not being stubborn, just turning inward to contemplate. Lightning in the heart, see the whole in oneself and try to correct the mistake to make the heart pure. If someone points out a mistake to you, you should sincerely thank them because they exist. Knowledge helps us live better. In the Dharma Jewel Platform Sutra of the Sixth Patriarch, it is a precious teaching to say that a person who truly practices the way does not see the faults of the world. We must remember this saying to make a lesson in the language of cultivation. Therefore, people, true practice is knowing how to improve yourself, not criticizing others. We need to realize that progress does not happen automatically. Requires effort and commitment from ourselves every day. We have the opportunity to. Learning, development and growth are not just about accumulation new knowledge but also improving skills to change thinking and expand perception. Awareness of the world around us requires setting goals and focusing Focus on self-development, constantly surpassing your own limits. Every day we can learn from new experiences and challenges. We can explore unexplored landscapes, seize opportunities, and face challenges. Challenge progress not only from success but also from failure. Learn from them to improve every day. We need to maintain patience and perseverance. We should not be afraid of failure, but consider it a step in our development process. Most importantly, we need to be patient and keep improving, even if it's just a few things. Small steps. Look at yourself and aim to improve every day we have. You can learn from successful people who find their passion and never stop exploring their potential. Our inner potential. We cannot wait for progress to happen naturally but need to create conditions. And strive to develop yourself. Live each day with awareness and progress. And become a better version of yourself. Music. I am a monk, studying the Dharma and staying in the Dharma heart. Today I gave the first sermon of the rainy season retreat for the monks and nuns. At Ho Chi Minh City Buddhist Academy I have some thoughts to share. For monks and nuns, it means seeking teachers to learn the Dharma and settling in a spiritual oasis of Buddhism. We need to think and apply what Buddha has proven to follow in order to be able to. Buddhism is the first thing that started when Buddha was a monk. His compassionate observation of life clearly shows the life of people. But too much suffering from birth to death. People always suffer, and in all classes of society suffer. Everyone's suffering is a matter of substance. The truth of living beings that the Buddha first set forth is called the truth of suffering, and from that the Buddha, always thinking about the cause of such suffering, he often lived in meditative thinking rather than living with wealth, glory, and politics. The suffering of human beings made Buddha always think of finding ways to liberate humanity from suffering when he was alive. In the royal palace, he was famous for being a calm person. Today, we are disciples of Buddha. We begin to see the suffering of humanity, and we also think about the cause of that endless suffering and apply it. The way Buddha taught to help us and everyone escape suffering when Buddha was still a prince, of course. There is also the crown prince's busy mix. In other words, in the secular world, everyone is busy mix. Busy with family, wife, children, friends, business, everyone in the world. I was disturbed by the world alone the first summer of the year 1957. I was an attendant to monk Tien Hoa. One night, the teacher and his disciple stood in the hallway. Monk Lan looked at me and said, "Foduk is for lonely people who are not troubled." Worldly disturbance. That was my first lesson 60 years ago, that a lonely man is those who renounce the world and become monks are monks who feel they have more virtue than ordinary people. Leave home and be at ease without being bothered by worldly troubles. The secular world is food, shelter, and beyond that, socializing and solving problems. This is really busy all life. Only the best way to leave the secular life and become a monk. No worries really. Monks and nuns are truly ordained is to leave the world so as not to be controlled by afflictions, showing the meaning of renunciation that we follow as the Buddha taught. Thanks to not being disturbed by worldly troubles, we can. The time to realize the ideal goal of the Buddha also arises from this will that he gives up the custom of leaving home. Immediately left Van Ding Nok to find a teacher to study the Dharma and hear where there was someone who could practice the sound of being secretly worshipped by him to consult means that today we are different from Buddha. We have schools from elementary, intermediate to university level. Going through 3 levels of education like that is the time to seek teachers and learn from native speakers. Of course, famous people also have all the ingredients. They are famous for something. Not everything is suitable for me. I also went to many temples to meet famous monks. It is said that seeking a teacher and learning from the Dharma is a must, but fortunately I was able to enter Buddhism. Nam Viet Street in An Quang Pagoda is where prestigious teachers teach at such a high level of knowledge. My knowledge is enhanced. Buddha went everywhere to find teachers to study. And finally he realized that there were only 2 masters whose practice and realization were the first. Lam Fat and Kamala are real celebrities. Many people have many attainments but few people have them, so when we look closely, we see that there are teachers famous for 5 years and 3 years is no longer famous because there is no substance. There is new substance. Long-lasting. So people often say that for the famous early, we must consider whether it is the Buddha or Bodhisattva who appears again. If not, only a few years after the sound of his mind's decline, the Buddha's final study of the Dharma, the Buddha chose 2 The master has a long process of practicing the way, and the higher he goes, the more steadfast his thoughts are. This is called ginger. The older it is, the spicier it is, meaning that if you keep it for a long time, it will have outstanding features. So we consult to find the people who are not famous but they have the ability to practice. Evidence that we practice realize that they have experienced it themselves and achieved good results. In school, we usually listen to good teachers who are good at theory but have to observe their life to see if it is true to the theory they say or not. I see that when giving the 8 precepts, some monks tell Buddhists not to eat dinner, but they eat dinner anyway. So saying and doing are different from Buddha's teachings, but do teachers practice them correctly? As Buddha taught or not, we should have a little bit of temporary treasure because we have not kept it yet. Although he did not eat dinner, the Buddha told the Buddhists clearly, allowed to drink milk, drink cereal, drink fruit juice. So the teacher ordained, in the afternoon, you can drink milk and powder. You teach like that and do the same. I teach Buddhists to consider clearly that Buddhas and saints have attained enlightenment, so they do not. Eating 1 day to 1 month is fine because it is not controlled by the 5 senses. Completely liberated, but ordinary monks certainly cannot be like that in the world. If one attains the first stage of enlightenment or higher, one is a virtuous monk who is not obstructed by the 5 aggregates and is not affected by them. If you are not sick, you do not need to eat or drink, but if you are sick, you still have karma. Not yet attained the lowest fruition, not yet liberated from birth and joy, there is no inner source of life. The mind is still very dependent on material things but wants to overcome this karma to become a saint. Be careful of dying when studying in Japan. The Zen master took me up the mountain to show me. Shows the tombs of the novices are ordinary monks who want to become saints, but must die, Buddhas and saints. The master has overcome the control of the 5 gods, but we have not been able to do so. Clearly let Buddhists know this, don't pretend to be Buddha and call yourself a saint, it's very dangerous. Met some monks who called themselves monks or old monks, for example me 80. Old monk sometimes it's time to eat but because of constant practice he often has to take care of things so. Not wanting to eat or eating irregularly monk Tien Hoa is Hoa's friend. The Venerable Tritene, he became a monk but was the first in the discipline, so he was the law. Formerly, Venerable Tritene was the General Director of the Sangha Affairs Office. Round seal on the monk Tien Hoa's message while following the law. Now we have to stamp square for the seller of the worldly monk Tritene said to stamp round because of monk Tien Hoa. Keeping the precepts pure while holding the monk deep Zemho ThngnTnh said that he had. The resume is for sale. Why is there a round stamp asking for the General Director to increase? Square stamp for truth too is true is honest if. Everyone in the Sangha is honest, the Sangha is pure, there is definitely no problem. He sold the monkhood but was afraid that others would know about it so he asked for a full seal. For them while the monk was accusing the person of selling out and becoming a monk but all. Everyone respected him as a Japanese elder who believed that if dishonest people are abandoned, dishonest monks are not honest with themselves and with Buddha. The more monks and nuns leave the Sangha, the more insecure it is to have such people in the Sangha. Mixed monks, so during the rainy season, remember that you are a pure monk, not a mixed monk. Although there are mendicants living together, all the monks in this academy are pure. Start with 2 words sincerely, ourselves when relying on the Dharma. If we feel joy in our heart, we should know that this person's heart is also joyful. Let outsiders see that they are happy with their true heart and sincerity. Make yourself a lovable person the missionary must be like. Indeed. First of all, to practice Buddhism, you must live in your own oasis, which means going out to do Buddhist work and meeting people. Many obstacles to deal with, just return to your own body and mind. We immediately became normal experience for me to clearly see this reason we do everything but also willing to give up everything to have 2 words, liberation and freedom outside the shackles of material life. If not, staying at home will be a family problem. Going to the monastery is an important thing for me during the season. Buddhist monks and nuns need to build their own spiritual oasis and from here go far away following the path. The path Buddha has taken means that from this life we enter into meditation, across the Dharma realm. Then from there we return to real life and see. People who practice Buddhism and attain enlightenment can live a normal life but the results they achieve are inconceivable, different from those who do not experience that Dharma. This is the experience of cultivation that I have gone through and want to share with you. Music. I finished studying with Kam La and Okdao Lam Fat and returned to experience the Dharma on my own. His own will leads to Buddhahood. Without his own, Buddha will always be. The disciples of these two masters are the same, even though we study together. Must have one's own thing, that is, when we have the attainment and proof, from here we can practice our own Dharma. We think we should learn from Buddha while we can still progress far. Should try to go, do not stand still, be careful not to fall down. I see people stop. They said they were busy all day long as the teachers graduated and took over as abbots. Teacher, be careful not to stop here and your legs will be tired and you will not be able to progress. Because you have to. Worrying about many things that cannot be solved makes the mind confused, leading to a state of live to guard the temple, die to be a ghost to guard the temple. For monks we must enter the spiritual world to gain your own faith, stand outside of life and death, and observe the new. Only when we see that monastic life is a blessing can we stick with it for a long time. If you find the outside attractive, you will definitely leave the monastery and return to secular life. There are many of my friends like that. So go to. There are not many people left alone. I observe again. I still contact with everyone in Japan. I also contact with the congressman, minister of trade. From the families to the poor and the associations, I see their lives are full of troubles. Brain, in other words, we begin to enter into the life that the Avatamsaka Sutra calls. Enter the Dharma realm to observe life and realize that if a mouse meets a cat, it will definitely be. If you are a rabbit, you will die if you meet the wind. If you are a tiger, you will die if you look deep into the sea. Life and death see clearly, all kinds of tearing and killing each other. There is nothing fun like that as us. Start looking back at life, but if you have a spiritual oasis it will. Seeing the infinite and lack, he left the religious life and returned to the secular world to live with the four mortal bodies. The great certainty is that the opium is not a little complicated. Therefore, some people say that this body is a dung bucket. Chinese Zen master carries a bucket of dung and says that a big bucket of dung carries a small bucket of dung. He stood at the oasis of liberation, observing the impure body of the four elements, worthy of our abandonment. Cultivation without a spiritual oasis to reside in is no different from ordinary people. More miserable than the 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 more miserable. More than them suffering under heaven's own master Tianmin temple accepted some lay disciples. Among them there is a person called Zoyen, which means no smoking Dharma name. This is because the person requested it for the simple reason that he wanted to prevent himself smoking, and names are just to distinguish one person from another in the same family. A name does not necessarily mean one person, a different name does not necessarily mean two people. Yen callers can still prevent Russia from greedy yen real estate trading. Shanghai, he goes to the temple several times a year in recent years. Every time he sits, the temple was full of smiles. Master Tridu and told us that was the effect of practice after practice. Enlightenment Buddhism penetrates into the spirit, can makes people feel relaxed. Bostan thinks that the world is so happy because land prices have recently increased. Two young disciples of the Tran world. In the temple, I really like Jiao Yen. Every time he visits the temple, he brings a lot of food, drinks and toys for the two dogs. The two men saw him coming and immediately rushed to search the master's bag. He scolded the two uncles for being impolite, but he didn't pay any attention and just looked at them, smiling and asking the two of them where to put the food in the bag. Brother and Yen. He likes to tell us stories about the city. He said he lives in Shanghai, a very big city, 10 times bigger than Tranwa. We don't know if it's real or fake. People often react to unfamiliar Vietnamese with a sense of novelty and doubt. At that time, all the disciples gathered to listen to him and felt very interested in the story. The furthest he went with his fellow disciples was just a few nearby towns, but he still felt that Brother Yen was talking too much in the towns. The nearest town is the biggest in this town and the quickest to walk around. It took half an hour. Shanghai has so many new things. He said if he had the chance, will take us, but unfortunately Master is not sure if he will allow it yet. He is very. I like the scenery near Tianmen Pagoda. I say the mountains and rivers here are especially moving. The air is fresh even in the summer. June summer in the mountains is also very cool. The sky is also blue. That time Master also stood aside and told him to remember to raise his head when he returned to Shanghai. Look and then tell me what you saw during your time in heaven. Hai called us after he arrived in Shanghai and told us about his master's teachings. Looked up and saw the sky was also blue. The master said each of us is real. We are all living under the blue sky. If you don't feel it, it's because you haven't looked up yet. Look up and see if the sky is not blue.